The roar that the Skull Servants felt around the world with last night's goodies. Make sure you guys smash some crap out of that subscribe button, and hey, leave a comment down below when you be walking away with, well, another booster pack as per usual on these market watches. So, King of the Skull. Honestly, this new Skull Servant support that we got last night was pretty cool. I'm starting to see copies already kind of flush around on the King out here. I assume that these are probably going to go up, but I don't really see anybody. I don't think you should be spending that much money on these things, but you know, the Skull Servant players are a very, very, very crazy bunch. All right, base Skull Servants out here coming in about $12. I mean, card looks fantastic. You can get supers from Speed Duel Tournament Pack 1 at $5.50 on up to $6. And then you have the Arena of Lost Soul Speed Duel for about $3s. All right, and then of course your common reprint for $4s, and then of course the common Skull Servant looking very, very cheap. But you also get the OTS Tournament Pack King of the Skull Servants for $1. So, in terms of I want my higher rarity bling bling, you're fine, all right? Oh, Teva. So this, I think, has been one of the most hilarious things to happen. So was it out of the Time Wizard event at Anaheim? Evidently, this card showed up, and when this card distributes summons successfully, your opponent cannot declare an attack during his or her next turn. So I guess what they were using this for is you're basically going through, what is it, the whole fish combo or whatever it was, and then you attribute summon Teva. Well, now your opponent cannot clear your board because they can't get in attacks, which means during your next turn you get this broken advantage of being able to punish your opponent. And the fact that, you know, this card hit $1. All right, and then you see this accelerate on up to $22, $23, even $25 a copy of Teva right now. And I mean, you have all this sales data now backing this thing up. It's hilarious just to see the impact that Edison has overall across the field out here with these sorts of things. So congratulations to Teva finally getting some playtime. And then we have Malice P, the White Rabbit. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is, you know, earlier in the week when we had Marco, actually I think it was yesterday, we saw the White Rabbits were hitting about 42s. No, they've actually gone further beyond right now. Rabbits are hitting up to about $46 a copy, which is so dumb to be thinking about out here because, you know, this deck was, the fact that this and Rizal did the flipperoo out here in terms of value, you know, with those field spells also breaking that $40 price point. This has just been insane to see. I don't know. I don't know. This card might break $50. We are kind of at that really weird point out here that might be a reality, but it's a little bit rough. Crossover breakers as a whole, I just wanted to pull this back up for your top end here. Still 246. Your Malice in the Underground, you have one cheap listing here for 182, and then the 210er, and then you're back up to the 264. I am amazed by the high rarity that people, or the money people are willing to spend for this high rarity stuff. Of course, Ice back down to about 190. Sword, 165. Dead Namers coming about 240s. EXs, do keep in mind we had that one singular listing the other day, which was so crazy. A few more have populated, about nearly 300. Of course, the Crypta herself is about 200. Duo Drive still floating about 114. That has not changed. The White Rabbit itself, 106. Dormouse has actually accelerated up to about 90 right now. So that's how your top end is going. You've got a little bit of circulation and shifting around in the last 24 hours. I wouldn't get too excited for these changes though, because you're just going to have baby bumps kind of bouncing back and forth here. I don't know how much more of this product people are going to open, but I assume that it does exist. I don't know how this is a misprint, but all right. So moving on along here, Protectcode Talker. This was something that we saw earlier out of the YCS, like day one, that we started to see this card kind of go up in price. Now, I mean, it's just what a free bump out, a Link 3 from your graveyard, revive this, and then, you know, since you banished a Link 3 that's named Malice, well, then that Malice monster can go ahead and revive itself, which is kind of cool. I like the idea. This also gives your Link 4s, you know, basically protection, but for all intents and purposes, I mean, you're looking at $3 to $4 per copy of this. And of course, yeah, they are moving. Within the last 3 days of these cards have been doing the shift-roo and the bumper-roo. for sure. It amazes me. A super rare from Cyberstorm Access is, gained this much attention and this much momentum is very, very broken. Opening of the Spirit Gates. This has turned into an interesting penny stonk discussion. A few people have been following this card in my Discord server, and they're like, hey, ever since Phantom went to 1, opening the Spirit Gates is the penny stonk. Okay, so hypothetically, when you're looking at every quarter century from the tins, you have to remember those quarter centuries are a little bit different than most other quarter centuries. There's the quarter centuries that are rammed into the ground in terms of value, and then you have all these other quarter centuries that are a little bit harder to get. You can't really say that this quarter century is in the same category as Archlord Christia, for example, because Christia was a 1 per, case sort of QCR, and it's kind of the exact same case you're seeing here with this. As you can very easily see here, you are looking at a lot of 25 centers, but your big listings start, you got 4 there for, 99 cents. If you're going to be buying a playset, you're going to be spending that $1.50 per copy on shipping. There's a 263 line down there from Gamer's Choice at $1.50 a piece. So I don't foresee this card going too crazy in the way of the stonks, but it's an interesting thing to see. Ava, oh boy, speaking of cards and returning back from purgatory out here, Ava actually 83 cents. It's just people coming through here spending the dollars per what is it? Spending the 97 cents, I would assume, plus the $1.27 shipping. They're like, hey, $2 for a playset is not the worst thing. I mean, sure, that's fine. Nice heavy plays there. For sure. Going down the pages here, though, I am looking for a playset. It looks like, yeah, you're going to be spending 97 cents, so about $4-ish to get a playset of these right now. It's not too terrible. One card that has been being discussed right now as something to watch is evidently the Herald of the Orange Light, because Ava has come back into the spotlight. My only major concern about this, though, is the only real deck that I can think of that even wants to look at Herald of the Orange Light is called Madolche. As things kind of stand right now, Madolche is not really a competitively viable strategy. I'm sorry to tell you that. We just kind of live in a really weird time out here. Now, if you were wanting to pick these up, you were looking at about $53 is going to be your lowest listings for these. In terms of sales data, none of these have actually sold in the last week. Not even with banlist hype and Ava returning was it enough to even sell a single copy of this card. That's actually insane. Wow, I figured with Ava coming back, a few people would have at least looked at this and said, hey, Herald of the Orange. No, nobody is batting an eye at this. That's actually hilarious to be seeing. The Platinum Seeker air market. You're going to hear the same thing over and over again for the next couple of months, ever since, we've had the Platinum Seekers drop from the first set. A lot of people looked at our AO1 and they're like, hey, you got to get your Platinum Seekers, man. I'm not spending $20 a copy per droplet to get these things just because they look a little bit better. That part is actually kind of crazy to me out here. You got 13.14. Your last sale was actually on 12.7. Nobody has bought a droplet in that amount of time out here. So once again, they might be listed at, these extravagant $20 prices to get a playset. Yes, I know there's one for 15, but you can't get a full playset for that price. Ugh. And then, of course, Crystron cards. We do have all this hype coming out in the next set. Nice $17. Citries, nice $5. Quandrax coming in at $5s. Your field spell was $3. The Fenix is $3. A nice Quandrax, $8. Maybe you might want to consider picking this stuff up. We're so close to the actual release of this stuff in the near future here that I think you might want to just have this. I'm not exactly sure how the Crystron stuff is going to hold up in the next set. I think it's really, really cool to have, but it's just one of those things. So that is your today's market. I got to tell you, I'm happy with the Skull Servant stuff. I'm just happy to have these cards back in the game and to have more support for them. So please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you. Woah!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.